station, or maybe you have a recovery station or two in here, cooler with some bottled water, and give someone some rest and protection from the sun. But what we've got kind of starting out, by default, our standard package, we have barbells hanging out in these barbell brackets. So if and when that time does come, Brian and crew, that you wanted a 25, a 35, a 45 pound bar, they would go right across down low here.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah.
And we would also, if you did have a bar, obviously you're going to bring plates with you, in which case this configuration, kind of just shuffle the deck a little bit, and these boxes would go right in this space here.
Okay.
Right? So let's just hypothetically say you've got a bar, you got to give it a little bit of space, right? So that bar, the collar of that bar would come here. You got your Plano box here, and then this space right here, which as you guys can see is pretty much right over the axle, is where we'd have, say, like, maybe 200 pounds of plates.
Okay.
If and when that time comes, where I know initially we didn't want to focus too much on heavy weights and all, but when the time comes, the default spot for these is towards the rear, if you have plates right here. But in the absence of plates, I'd say the cardinal rule, you guys, when it comes to storage, is try to keep as much of your weight over the wheels, over the axles.
Okay.
This thing is a big seesaw, and obviously, the better you can balance it, the safer you're going to be. Trust me, you're never going to get to a point where by moving it 6 inches that way or this way, you're all of a sudden exposing yourself to risk. I'm just saying, as a habit, it's best to try to keep everything over the axles. Because you guys that know trailers, the term, it's called tongue balance. You always want to make sure you don't have positive tongue balance or negative tongue balance. Negative tongue balance, the tongue is the very tip where you're attached, ball and couple. Negative tongue balance would mean you were in a hurry and you packed, I'm talking thousands of pounds, behind the axle. You take that tongue, right? Negative tongue balance, it's essentially wanting to pull off the ball. In most cases, it's not gonna. And in the case where you decide to pack everything to the front towards where that tongue is, you'd have positive tongue balance. If you're gonna err on the side of negative or positive tongue balance, I would err in this direction forward, because you get more of the coupler down on the ball. So just hammer in that point, as much of the weight as you can over the axles. So these Plano boxes you guys here are pretty much for miscellaneous, like you call it. Because we had some production delays, and I had Brian pulling his hair out of his head, we threw in some free dumbbells, some free Rogue dumbbells.
Not you, the other guy.
Yeah, we had all kinds of kick the can and excuses from our manufacturer. But some dumbbells in here. We often, I'd say most common items stored in here are kettlebells and dumbbells first, all the way down at the bottom. So you give this box some good weight. And because this floor is rubber tread plate, and you want your heavy items at the bottom of this box, you don't have to worry. This thing, it doesn't go anywhere. It just tends to grip the bottom of the rubber tread plate. So dumbbells are here. I would add, kettlebells if you see fit. Same is the case here. I think we set you guys up, I believe, with 5, 10, 15, 25s. Oh no, these are 30s. So a good amount of dumbbells in here. Your TRX straps, probably bundle up and toss in here. Your anchor units, have their own designated spot in these boxes, but these are called Plano boxes. Then moving towards the front, or before I go to the front, these vertical uprights here, guys, are kind of the default spot to leave your J-cups for storage. They're also, I don't know if you guys saw me when I unpinned or unhitched, they're also the default spot to pin in your dip bars and your med ball targets.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. We're moving towards the front here. These are these are the 4 anchor units that you guys can unbox, have fun with later. Spare tire. typically.
And I'm assuming that it won't be a problem. Like if we take all these things out of the out of here, probably best though, just for the sake of argument, we should probably use that only on when we're actually using the device. Is that correct? Everything else it ought to be kind of down
Yeah.
here, correct? Okay.
Yep, for sure. The front shelf system, top is intended to be kind of like a workstation. If you guys are monitoring, workout results, if you're checking people in,
Okay.
anything admin related, this is kind of a default stand-up work desk. That's how I always used it in the past as a trainer. I keep my iPad right here. We can follow up after today about some ideal portable power batteries, like portable power packs, essentially like lithium-ion batteries you can plug into the wall of the gym,
Okay, sure.
charge overnight, 400 watts, right? So if you need to charge, if someone's going to be out running, say, 3-4 workouts in succession, they want to just plug their iPhone or their iPad in to a portable power pack that is freestanding and doesn't have to mess with converting AC to DC. Yeah, and in the case where once you guys are set up here, instead of having things nested in a box, these shelves are intended to set members up so that it's easy access to maybe a heavier or a lighter set of dumbbells, right? So if you're going around, you're setting your training stations up on the outside, but you don't want a debris field of all your accessory items,
Okay.
you may decide for convenience to put a few dumbbells up here, put a kettlebell or two up there, and in the middle of the workout, instruct people when they're scaling up or down, they can go and just swap out that set of dumbbells. And for the most part, that kind of covers from the rear to the front.
But again, just to satisfy my curiosity, and I'm
Yep.
repeating myself here, but when this device is not in use, when we're either taking it to a certain location, when it's not being used, you recommend not putting weights or anything whatsoever in there for storage overnight. Everything you would recommend when it's not being used needs to be in this area right here.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
If it's on the lighter side,
Mhm.
right? I wouldn't pack bumper plates up here,
Okay.
right? Or if you did throw some other miscellaneous items maybe in a different box, like a milk crate,
Sure.
I think you could absolutely kind of spread out where you're storing accessory items.
Okay.
But for the most part, the default for the heavy stuff would be here.
Okay.
And ancillary,
Just ancillary stuff
items,
in there.
yeah,
Okay.
like jump ropes, bungees, bands, your TRX straps. If you guys do myofascial stuff, post-workout, lacrosse balls, and maybe rolled up yoga mats for
Sure.
people to grab at.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. All right. I have a question.